the date today?
The 9th.
March 9th, right?
Yeah.
March 9th.
Last I checked.
I can't believe it's already March.
I know.
Push your butt.
All right, let's call to order the March 9th City of Bella Vista Board of Zoning Adjustments. Call the roll, please.
Ellis,
Here.
Farner,
Here.
Plesson, Sedbury,
Here.
Portillo, Wagner,
Here.
Lloyd.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum. Next up, we have our regular meeting minutes from February the 9th.
I make a motion to be approved as submitted.
Got a motion from Farner,
Second.
second from, Lloyd. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, meeting minutes are approved. We have nothing under unfinished business. We have two items for new business. First up is the annual election of officers. We'll entertain a motion.
Can we motion them all?
You can motion them all or motion one by one. I don't care which.
I make a motion that we retain all 3 existing officers.
Okay, we have a motion from Lloyd.
I'll second that.
Got a second from Wagner. Call the roll, please.
Wagner,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Plesson, Sedbury,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. All righty, we'll keep the same officers for another year. Next up, we have public hearing, variance 2026-63349, an appeal request on the staff interpretation of what an electrical meter is for a house under construction at 30 Sandhurst Drive. This will be a public hearing, so just real quick to go through the rules. We will allow planning staff to give a 10-minute presentation to the board on what the issue is, and then we'll give the applicant 15 minutes to come up and present their side of it. And then after that, we'll hold the public hearing where anybody in the audience can come up and have 5 minutes to speak. And then we'll give the applicant an additional 10 minutes to rebut anything that they hear from the public. And so with that.
May I add one thing, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
You referred to it as variance. This technically is not a variance. This is one of those other rare circumstances that you have the authority to do, and that is to provide final interpretation of the meaning of your zoning ordinance, and this is an appeal of the zoning administrator's determination. So
Thank you for the
technically a little
clarification.
bit different.
All righty. And so with that, we'll go ahead and let staff begin their presentation. I'm sorry, is that going to be Planner Robertson?
Yes.
Go for it.
Okay. As the attorney just stated, this is an appeal request. This isn't a zoning variance. However, the permitting code, the ZVR is maybe where that's coming from. You can go ahead and keep it on my staff report, please, for the public. Okay, great. So ZVR is where that's coming from. It's just our permitting software code, but it is an appeal request of the zoning code, or chapter 109 of our locally adopted ordinance. That falls under my department's authority for enforcement, and a state given right and ordinance given right gives the Board of Zoning Adjustment the authority to appeal, overturn entirely, adjust my interpretation at the request of an applicant if the majority of the board finds so to do that. So that is what this request before you is. These are fairly rare, so it is different. If you've noticed from a zoning variance application, it doesn't have the requirements from state law or a local ordinance on page 2. You'll see page 2, which typically has your review requirements on there, is just the authority given to you to do this.
One second, Taylor. We need the timer started, sir. You've lost about a minute already.
Yeah, I'll be done, I'll be
Okay.
done way before 10 minutes, trust me. But when that hits 1 minute, yeah, but I'll be done for that. So the nature with this request is different. Typically with literal zoning variances, it is the exact case that is before you. So if someone seeks a literal provision variance of a setback that is for that site only, it's site specific. It does not apply to development elsewhere. An interpretation appeal is not that order, not that case. If you were to overturn my interpretation of this, it would apply to residential development received on December 1st, 2025 and here on. The interpretation that you find of what an electric meter is would be enforced. And so it's a little different than a literal provision variance. This is also our administrative cycle. That's why we had our election earlier tonight. So I thought just some extra explanation. And of course, these are rare. So I just wanted to give a detailed description of what we're looking at. With all that said, the site before you that is causing the appeal request is R1, low density residential. It's a little over 1/3 of an acre. It is surrounded by other R1 lots with nature preserved to the east, and our future land use plan shows this as a future neighborhood. It is just near Lake Ann on lot 17, block 4 of the Berkshire subdivision. Currently, the interpretation that they are wishing to overturn is staff interprets the term electric meter as the electric meter itself, which we'll see in the exhibits here shortly, that it is the portion that typically measures the amount of electric power used in a or by a structure. It's typically measured in kilowatt hours. They are seeking an appeal of this interpretation due to the zoning code requirement 109046 C2C, which is requiring electric meters to not be installed in the front or forward of the home. The request is to the board interpret the electric meter to include the bases or the pedestals, so that the large green pedestals that are already installed or built for previously permanent homes that were applied for prior to 12/1/2025 may be used for development after that date, essentially is the gist of their request. And of course, they will come up here and they have 2 times to expand on that. But with the application within this document, that is what I believe their intent of their request is. The pedestals that we keep talking about began install in December of 2018. And since then, Carroll Electric 2,316 have been installed. Electric meter is not defined in our zoning ordinance, nor is it defined, nor is electrical meter or meter comma electric is defined in our local zoning ordinance. But our zoning ordinance also gives me the authority to refer to the APA or the American Planning Association dictionary for zoning terms. It's not in there either. So that's why this appeal is before you today. Since it's up to my determination as to what it is with the lack of a definition, you guys have the ability to overturn that on top of what has already been given you in the authority. However, that's why we're here. So since no definition can be found in our local dictionary or the national dictionary, we are here considering this request. And again, as I noted earlier, should the board reverse or change this, it would apply to all current residential projects received on 12/1/25 and beyond, and residential only, of course. And then just some data, no permit has been denied based off this zoning, this new zoning code requirement, so there's no permits to present to you guys on denials for that 109046 C2C. Had not received any public comments at the time of this report when we published it to you Friday. I'm not aware of any that I've received since then. Since Friday, we sent this out to you. Legal ad was sent to the Democrat Gazette and published on Sunday, February 22nd, and then we posted a public hearing sign on the subject property on Friday, February 27th, and then for good measure, of course, we put all of our public hearings in advance on our website. It is the first link on our main page. So now you can go to the exhibits. Thank you, Addison. So just to put a picture to the interpretation or a bunch of words, this is what staff is interpreting as the meter, the portion that measures electrical usage. And then to kind of break it down a little bit more, so the meter we just saw that is circled in red on a pedestal here in the city of Bella Vista that was erected after December of 2018. The red shows staff interpretation, and then the blue shows the applicant's request of an interpretation of what an electric meter is. And this is just for your additional consideration as you consider what a electric meter is. This is just, it's actually interesting, just make sure everyone's aware, but 811 only marks up to the meter typically. It's common practice for most utilities. Anything beyond the meter, the property owner is responsible for, should they have projects and whatnot. So currently with these pedestals, the homeowners that move into these or property owners that own these after construction, they are responsible for making sure they find the electrical connection or the wires underground from the meter to the house. And so that red is just a measurement of where they're responsible. This is the new construction checklist and application pulled from Carroll Electric's website. Next slide, please. You can keep going. They have some pretty helpful exhibits in there. I'm talking about the base or pedestal install for the meter and the associated costs with that, of course. So you can stop here. So this is the base. It's without the meter's not attached in this. Next. And then of course showing the diagram of it being placed away from the home. It's referred to as the pedestal and the base again. And so even in the bottom right corner, you'll see meter-based installation guide. And so that is essentially what the gist of the request is, to include the meter base in the definition of an electric meter, not just the meter itself. I believe that's the end of mine.
All right, thank you. Any questions for staff? Yes, ma'am.
The subject of this is interpretation regarding what an electric meter is. But when I read the applicant's letter, it appears that they are appealing that the pedestals aren't grandfathered, which has nothing to do with the definition of an electric meter. So I'm a little confused.
Well, I can maybe, if you'll grant me just a moment. So the implication is that it would be grandfathered. So what, and I don't have that letter in front of me, so obviously what they're appealing is important, but you've got these situations where these pedestals are around town, and some may be even for homes that are currently under construction. We adopted the new zoning code, and so they were planning on putting the meter on that, considering it all part of one installation. And the interpretation has been, well, the meter is just the glass part with the dials on it. Right. And so therefore, you can't put that. And so therefore, you may have a pedestal there with a base, and because the zoning code has changed, you can't use that anymore because you can't put a meter in it. If it is, because if it was under partial construction or partially present before the change in the zoning code, it's grandfathered and they could use that to put the meter, there wouldn't be any question about it.
So if the base is counted as the electric meter.
Right, and it pre-existed the change in the zoning code, then it would be grandfathered. But it all depends on the definition of an electric meter, which is what they're getting at.
Clarified.
In a go-forward state, the meter gets put on the house? Taylor, is that, I mean, where do we put the meter?
On the house.
That's what our code calls for right now, is for the meter to be placed on the house.
Placed on the house.
It doesn't specifically say word for word on the side of the house. It says, shall not be forward of the home in the front yard.
So it's more of a visual.
Yeah.
It is a part of our front yard regulations. And so we have certain height limitations in the front yard that applies on the entire front plane. And so this just goes into that as well. Typically, you want to keep sight triangles clear. For most of our development here is rear reverse on our roads, and so our driveways are typically only 20 feet long. There's reasonings for that, but it is a front plane clarity requirement, not just, I just don't want to use the term visual or aesthetics or anything like that. Just to make that clear. So.
Follow-up question, if I may. Will Carroll Electric continue to put these stubs in the front? Or are they changing their
They've changed.
on where they're located?
They've been following the code. Yeah.
Any other questions for staff?
I'm not sure I know what to ask, but are you telling me that Carroll Electric will put those pedestals beyond the front, in back of the front plane of the house? Or will they put the meter itself, the glass meter, on the house?
Are you asking, is Carol still installing the pedestals in the front yard?
What does our ordinance call for? It calls for the meter to be in back of the front edge of the house, is that right?
It says it shall not be placed in the front yard, forward of the home, the meter. They are
So
asking,
Carroll Electric could put the pedestal itself in the side yard, not on the house, is that what?
correct. Yes.
So what are we being asked to waive?
We're not being asked to waive anything. We're being asked to overturn staff's determination of the definition of a meter. That's it. So basically, staff has told us what their interpretation of a meter is. The applicant's gonna come up and tell us what their interpretation of a meter is. We're gonna decide who's right. Either staff's right or the applicant's right. That's it. Everything else is really not a part of this conversation.
But are we gonna decide, or is it decided where the meter has to be?
Nope, that's the code.
It's just what the definition of the meter.
That's it.
Okay,
Everything else,
Okay.
the code has already addressed.
all right.
And the applicant gets 15 minutes to
Right,
speak.
I
Okay.
understand. There's just, we're talking through your portion of it right now. Any other questions for staff? All right, if not, can we go ahead and get the applicant to come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and you will have up to 15 minutes to make your argument and your presentation.
Hello. Thank you for taking the time to hear me out on this. I'm Erica Roten. I am with we're builders in Northwest Arkansas and heavily invest in the Bella Vista community as well and build many homes, countless homes in Bella Vista. And that is what brings me here today. My address is a Missouri address in Pineville, Missouri, but we build in Bella Vista. So I want to read to you the letter, and then I've got some visuals that I think might help bring to life the circumstances that we are in. So historically, as she mentioned, Carroll Electric has installed electric meters on shared pedestals located at the front of the residential lots with one single pedestal serving two neighboring homes. So you've got the pedestal, then you've got the 2 meters that are on each side of that. And this has been a longstanding practice, sounds like since 2018. And so because of that, Carroll Electric has thousands of existing electric pedestals already installed throughout the city. There's already been an investment made in that, infrastructure's already in place. Under the current interpretation of this code, electric meters may no longer be placed on these existing pedestals. It says meters have to be behind the front plane of the house, but can be in the side yard, to your point. This interpretation effectively prevents continued use of the existing infrastructure and instead requires installation of an entirely new electric service pedestal for the new home. But otherwise, the already existing infrastructure would have served the new homes. So this creates significant and unnecessary hardship, added cost, and labor for builders, homeowners, and Carroll Electric alike. So I'm respectfully requesting that you all, as the board, review the interpretation of electric meter within the code, as I believe that interpretation should apply to the electric pedestal itself rather than the meter alone. I think the original intent, I know she said it was not aesthetics, it's about, originally even the mayor himself had said that it was aesthetics in one of the city council meetings. So I think that was an intent, but I think there is also, if you're backing up, if there's things in your front yard, you've got more risk to hit that and things like that, I think is how Taylor has described it. But the situation is they're already there, they won't be removed. And so by not allowing us to use those and requiring the meter to be placed behind the house, now we have two. We have 2 pedestals in place One at the front that's already servicing the side, the house already existing, and now a new pedestal and meter, because the meter couldn't be attached to the current existing infrastructure that's already in place. So I think that if we changed the interpretation of meter, then that would naturally allow for the grandfathering process to take place of using the current infrastructure that's in place. Otherwise, what's already there is rendered useless, and it's wasted resources and unnecessary expenses, and there's absolutely no benefit to the public for that. And so I've brought some visuals that I think might help you understand what was happening previously and what's happening now as a result of this new code change in December, as of December 1st. I don't know how well you can see this. I will try to talk through it. The first one is, this is an address, 10 Chatham Drive. Let me speak in the mic, I'm sorry. 10 Chatham Drive. This is a completed home as of October 25th. This is the electric pedestal. This is where the meter was placed, all in the front side yard, above in the front yard. However, aesthetically, if that is one of the major considerations, you already have electric poles in the yard. It's all in one corner in a uniform spot. I think aesthetically, this looks nice. That's not what I'm here to refute today. It is solely based on the meter, but I did want to point out to you that this aesthetically looks much better than the next two photos I'm going to show you, which are the changes based on this new ordinance that's in place. The second picture I want to show you is 28 Sandridge Drive. This is a job site that's under construction right now, one of ours. Did not have a current pedestal in place. So what that means is we had to, this is to your point, it's in the front of the, it's behind the front plane of the house. It's about 20 foot further back than what we would have previously done. Definitely still has line of sight from the front yard. To me, it looks visually worse. And it's going to be harder to grade around at the end of the day. You're going to have fence issues because it's on the property line. And again, not here what I'm refuting today, but I'm just showing you visually what you guys have approved and what this is doing in real life for us. Yes, we could put it on the house, but what that does is allows us, it does not allow us to get electric in a timely manner. We need electric to frame these houses. We can't do that if you got to put it on the side of the house. So this is the quickest way for us to go ahead and get electric. The third picture I want to show you, this is the lot that's actually in question. This is what's on the plot plan right here. There is already a current pedestal here. There's a home that's over here that this meter is servicing. If you guys change the interpretation of the word meter, we can now put the meter up here on the already existing pedestal. If not, this stays regardless. It's there. And now I have to add a new meter right here, about 15 to 20 feet back. Now we have two meters. That makes the situation worse. There's no benefit. There's a significant cost. There's a significant labor work, and also it's harder to grade around at the end of the day, and you got to work around another obstruction in the middle of your yard line. So those are three visuals, and just something else I want to share with you if you really are caring about aesthetics of Bella Vista, which I think is important. I think you have bigger fish to fry than this. We have many lots, and our investors have many lots that unfortunately have houses that have all kinds of decorations included on them, and we have called and they've said there's nothing we can do because decorations are okay as long as they don't have lights. So you've got situations like this where you have yards full of skeletons and you've got junk, right, which does not aesthetically make Bella Vista look nice. You can drive around and see that everywhere. So if we're doing this, then I think we need to consider this too, just something for the future. Anyways, that's what I have for you today.
All right, any questions for the applicant? Yes, sir. Okay. I'd like to clear up a few things.
Sure.
This is not about aesthetics. This is about public health, safety, and welfare, and that's all that this is about. Because anything after the meter is not located by 811 when somebody goes out and decides to disturb their yard. And so that's what this is strictly about. I wanted the meters put on the house when I voted for this, but we were told by the Electric Service Commission we could not require that. And so, I'll be very clear, this is not about aesthetics. I also will say Carroll Electric took it upon themselves to do this without communicating with the city or staff, and they just did it for years. But to say that that's historical is a pretty big stretch, because for 40-some years before 2018, the meters were always on the house. So this is something that's fairly new, not something that's been longstanding in the city of Bella Vista. So that's where I'm personally at on this. I don't know where the rest of the board's at.
I think that's helpful, but us as builders and investors in your community have bought lots over the last 10 years based on current practices, right? And when we're told that we're going to, because of this change and because of this new interpretation and ordinance, now we have to spend, supposedly you guys aren't able to, talk numbers here, but it is significant on top of, there's no common sense in it. There's no common sense. There's extra labor, resources. It doesn't make sense. You've still got the same issue you're talking about if you're putting it in the front side yard.
Like I said, we're not allowed to consider finances. We're not allowed to consider aesthetics. Like I said, for us, it's just purely a public health safety thing was the only consideration that came with that.
Got it. I just think also, though, if we're still talking about public health safety in all three of these lots that we've had homes on, and we have many, many more, these are just examples, you already have current electric poles sitting there.
Right.
I would think it would be of better health safety to have everything in one centralized location than scattered across the lot.
The problem that you have is 811 will not locate anything past the meter. The meter is the demarcation point between public and private. And the closer the meter is to the house, the less unknown that there is that can be located by 811.
So why not leave it as it was? Because they can locate it there, right?
But they can't locate anything beyond the meter to the house. So now you've got 40 feet of line buried that nobody will locate. That is the whole impetus behind all of this.
Got
And
it.
this is why Carroll Electric, what they did was they applied rural application. They tried to apply a rural application in an urban setting without talking to anybody at any municipality when they did this. And Lowell, Rogers, Bentonville, and Bella Vista have all adopted this policy. So this is not just a Bella Vista thing.
Got it. Well, I still think you've got the same circumstance, right? You still got the same
Right.
risk. Your change didn't help what you were trying to solve
It
for.
will with any new house built, because wherever the meter's placed at, Carroll Electric is responsible for that, up to that meter. So if the meter is 10 feet closer to the house, that is 10 feet.
She still
of
showed
risk.
you the line, though, that is the responsible, I think that's what you were trying to show, that line that is responsible of the homeowner.
The homeowner is only responsible after the meter. The closer the meter is to the house, the safer it is, period.
Got it. But there's still the risk there, even if it's a
But-
smaller area.
But that section will be painted and located by 811, so when somebody goes out there to dig, they'll know it's there. If the meter's all the way out there at the pole, even if it's for both houses, anything after the meter will not get located by one call.
Got it.
So like I said, it's purely a public safety. This is not about aesthetics. And if somebody had said that, that was a misunderstanding.
Okay. Well, like I said, it was quoted in a city council meeting, so it's unfortunate to hear.
Any other questions for the applicant? If we do have to conduct a public hearing, if there's anything else you'd like to add,
No, thank you.
you have a few more minutes. If not, we can go ahead and have you sit down for just a minute. We'll go ahead and conduct the public hearing. If there's anybody in the public that would like to address or speak to this particular item, if you would come up and state your name and address for the record, and you will have up to 5 minutes. Hi there.
Hello, my name is Wendy Nickel, and I live at 3 Avidson Lane, Bella Vista, out by Mountfield. I am a builder also, and also I'm a board member of the Benton County Cemetery Preservation Group, so I have deep roots in this community of Benton County. I've been here my whole life. My parents were born here, my grandparents. I've been a long time. So I didn't understand, so when I was originally told that it was an aesthetic thing, and then you're saying it's a public safety thing, which I understand that, but I'm here to ask that we grandfather in the pedestals, because the pedestal is already there. This is, I know she wasn't allowed to talk about cost, but it is a $3,800 charge to the consumer, to the custom client, to the builder, whoever's building. It's an additional $3,800 for Carroll Electric to put the additional pedestal behind the plane of the house. So to me, that is we talk about affordable housing out here. The Bentonville area is getting so congested and so expensive to build in. And people are coming to Bella Vista thinking this is economical value. It is no longer becoming, no longer economical value. We're adding costs to, the water meters are now $6,400. They're adding $1,500 for a recreational buy-in. So that's added to the cost. They're also talking about raising the impact fees. The city is about like $1,100. We're talking almost $10,000 in additional fees just to build a house out here. And we have people struggling. Oil is up, gas prices are up. The houses are sitting. We have 260 houses every day on average on the market. They're sitting. They're not being sold. So what are we doing as a community, Bella Vista, City of Bella Vista, to help get these prices down on houses? Well, we're not doing that. So my question to you is, I would like to see us grandfather that in where the pedestals are already there. We just connect to them, and any new pedestals or any new houses that don't already have a pedestal, then we can go ahead and put them behind the plane of the house. So that was my thought process. Wendy Nickel, Nickel.
An address, sorry, there was a mic bump.
3 Aviton, Aveton Lane.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to ask or answer
With
them.
public comment, we don't take questions and
Okay.
answers. Thank
No, I
you.
meant me, if you have a question for me.
We don't take, thank you.
Hey, good evening. Thank you all for being here. Chairman Ellis, Director Robertson.
Need your name and address.
Oh, Travis Harp, 10 Kendall Drive, Bella Vista, Arkansas.
Thank you.
I'm a city council member. I represent Ward 1. You may have heard about my take on this, but if not, I would just like to encourage the board to do what I believe is the common sense application of this, and I fully respect the idea that we shouldn't allow any more new pedestals. However, if there's a current pedestal and the lot next door has to put another pedestal in, then we're really doing a disservice to the homeowner, to the developer, and to the public in general. Definitely understand and concerned about the safety aspect with the 811 dig. However, there is companies that the homeowners can hire to do underground location. They just have to pay for it out of pocket. It's not a public service like the 811 dig. So there's definitely things in place that would prevent accidentally hitting the line. I think it's also noteworthy to mention that the water meters are still far away and you could still have a public safety incident there. So maybe we should require them to put the water meter closer to the house, and then the homeowner's responsible for less damage if there's a leak, because the water company would handle it from the meter or to the meter, and the homeowner will be responsible to the house. But this is just a common sense thing that I would encourage you all to take a look at it in that aspect, because there's already a pedestal there, so let's use them. I know it's not aesthetics, I know it's a public safety issue. However, since aesthetics were mentioned several times, it's less aesthetically pleasing to have multiple pedestals installed than just one. So that's my take, and that's my encouragement to the board. And again, thank you for your time and hearing this matter tonight.
Thank you. All right, is there anybody else in the audience that would like to address the board concerning this request? All right, if not, we'll go ahead and close this down. And the applicant, we do give you another 10 minutes to come up here, and you can speak to anything additional you would like to that you heard from the public comment. There may be some additional questions if you like. And once again, this is really just as much as we want to talk about aesthetics and everything else, this is really just about the definition of an electric meter is all that we're being asked to consider tonight versus a specific variance or waiver request. So yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I think I would just reiterate that. That is the request, that we would take a look at the definition of meter and hopefully change that to pedestal, because when we were initially having conversations with Taylor and whatnot, trying to figure out what the best approach forward, this is the avenue that we were told that make sense the most, was to talk to you all about the interpretation of that word, which would result in this common sense fix of a problem that would help us builders and home buyers and utility providers and you all as well. So
All right,
I
thank you.
appreciate your time and your consideration of this.
Okay, thank you. Taylor, what specifically does the building codes define as a meter? What is that definition?
I do not have that handy.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have that handy.
Okay.
I don't have that handy.
So, but we haven't defined meter in our code anywhere specifically?
No, not in the new code. It's not defined, and it's not defined in the national definition either for planning reference.
Okay. Go for it. We got
I remember the meeting where we talked about this, and at no point during that meeting did I think that there would be that the meter would be anything other than the pedestal assembly with the meter, right? Because that was the purpose of us talking about it, was to move those pedestals, not specifically the meter portion of that pedestal. So it doesn't make any sense for these purposes, for me to define those separately, right? So the pedestal or whatever they call it, the meter assembly and meter are the same thing to me for these purposes. I mean, they don't even work separately. So I don't know, for us, why would we define them separately if we're talking about this specific portion of the ordinance?
Yeah.
So can I say one thing just for clarification?
Please.
The real import of this are pedestals that existed on December 1 and potential connection of the measuring devices to those pedestals. It does not change anything about the future requirements.
Right.
Anything about where, obviously the whole assembly is going to have to be, not in front of the home. So that's a policy decision, but that's clear. So it has to do with why that definition is important and the scope of what that will mean if you determine that the meter includes the pedestal.
Right. And I think for the purposes of why we had that in the ordinance was the pedal assembly and meter. I mean, I'm not aware of any metering system where those are separate. So the goal was to move that assembly further away from the right of way.
To make sure any new ones that got.
New ones, correct. Yeah,
Installed,
new ones, not
were
existing,
installed
but-
behind the
yeah.
front plane of the house,
That-
closer to the house.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Right.
But I don't think in terms of a definition for that purpose,
Yeah.
we don't need to define those two things separately. I would say a meter is the pedestal assembly that includes the meter.
Yeah, the transformer itself is located on the pole or is.
Yeah.
So this is the
So,
switch gear, basically.
so what are you saying, that,
I say for our definition, for this purpose, we define the electric meter as the pedestal or base assembly. That's the meter.
In a pre-existing.
Yeah, well, for anything, because we have those that are grandfathered in, so we don't need to define them separately. We just need to make an interpretation of what the meter is. And in my interpretation, based on the discussions we had and the goal that we laid out when we passed the development code, was that getting
big ugly
those,
green box.
getting the big ugly green boxes out of the front yard.
the whole thing?
Yeah.
That was the goal, but once the big ugly green box is there, I mean, quite frankly, we can't make them build or move it.
Right.
So what's happening, I guess, from what we're hearing, what we're understanding, is that we're getting 2 big ugly green boxes built now.
Yeah.
We'll ask the public to refrain from responding during this discussion between the board. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, when I voted yes for this, would never have remotely occurred to me that a builder would solve this new requirement by putting a second pedestal instead of just putting the meter on the house. I've built dozens of houses. All the meters have been on the house. And if you have to frame for a while with a generator till you get service, that's what you do. Putting a second pedestal, I think, is an atrocious idea. And I agree with the safety issue and 811 and digging and all of that stuff. But I would also suggest that our definition of electric meter should include the base pedestal, because it makes no sense not to use what's already there. That's my feeling.
Agreed. Any other comments?
So the decision you have to make is either to affirm the interpretation of the zoning administrator or reverse the interpretation of the zoning administrator, either in whole or in part. So your vote, if there's a desire to reverse that decision according to what you've been saying, then that would be a motion to reverse that decision and to provide that definition, and then have a roll call on that.
I was gonna say, can it be something along the lines, like I said, I always like to do the motions in the affirmative, so that a yes
Right.
means yes and a no means no. Is it simple enough to say a motion to define the meter per the Carroll Electric diagram shown on page 16, which identifies the entire meter base?
And to therefore reverse the decision. We need to refer to affirm or reverse, because that's the way the statute.
I understand, but I mean, the applicant is asking
Understand.
for a clarification that aligns with what is shown on page 16 of the Carroll Electric
And
packet.
that's fine. What you're saying is fine.
But this example, if we're gonna specifically reference it, does not have an actual measurement device on it.
The what?
What?
It
That
doesn't
doesn't-
have the meter inside the case.
And that doesn't have a pedestal.
Yeah, it doesn't have a pedestal either, so it
Page
would,
16 doesn't show a pedestal. It shows a meter base, which would normally go on a house.
it would,
I thought well, yeah, okay. Somehow we're gonna have to get this clarified, however you all wanna get it
That
clarified, so we know what
electric
we're voting
meter
on.
should include the base/pedestal.
and pedestal, correct?
Base/pedestal.
Or pedestal?
I like where you're going.
Base, pedestal.
So you are suggesting that we.
Base and the pedestal aren't the same thing. So the base is what you see.
Some places it's called a base and/or pedestal.
So Carroll Electric's application defines it as a meter base.
Meter base.
So,
Well, if you look at
and it
page,
says
at page-
pedestal install.
yeah, they call it a
pedestal
meter
installation.
pedestal on page 17.
Yeah, page 10, it says meter base fee, $405, and then right above it, it says standard pedestal installation. So they define it both ways.
So if I could say this, the appeal is for the determination of the definition of meter as it relates to the circumstances that were presented at 30 Sandhurst. Obviously, your interpretation will have broad impact. It'll impact across the whole city. But if you look at that picture, which you had at one point, that showed the blue
Go to the
box and
next
the red
page.
box,
Oh, yeah, go back to that.
That.
Yes.
so what, not to put words in anyone's mouth, but I'm gonna try to help. So you're wanting to someone wants to reverse the decision of the zoning administrator to say that all of that included in the blue box is within the definition of an electric meter.
Yes.
That is what the applicant's requesting.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
So moved.
Okay.
Is that clear enough for you, Mr.
I
Attorney?
think we can get it in the minutes correctly.
Yeah. Can I just revert it to make sure the minutes are correct? We're defining an electric meter as the base and pedestal.
Yes.
Yes.
As depicted in this photo right here.
Along with the measuring device. That's also a part of the meter.
Yes.
Yes, I think that was the motion that has been made by Lloyd. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second from Sedberry. Call the roll, please.
Wagner,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. So with that, the motion approves. We have our 2/3 that's required for this type of a thing, is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. So the motion is approved. I take it staff can get with applicants out there and kind of get the word out on what this is. And this is, we have not changed any code, we've just clarified a definition, correct?
So if that's right, and so if someone's got a vacant lot with no infrastructure on it at all, they're gonna have to put those installations behind the front of the house and completely follow the code as presented. Now we just know what meter means.
Very good.
So we would need to amend the ordinance to put this definition in. This would just set the precedent for what that does.
No, you don't have to. It doesn't require any amendment to the definition. It could be, but because you're really talking about a very limited application, this really isn't gonna have an effect for those that were before December the 1st. It's pretty clear that it includes anything moving forward, so. I mean, the precedent you have set would apply across the city, and that would be known, and.
All right, thank you.
We've actually done this a handful of times, have had to clarify an interpretation or whatever with staff, so it's pretty par for the course. All right, with that, anything for open discussion?
Staff does not have anything at this time.
Okay, announcements, the Planning Commission regular meeting will start immediately after this meeting, and with that, we stand adjourned. All right, let's call to order the March 9th City of Bella Vista Planning Commission meeting. Call the roll, please.
Ellis,
Here?
Farner,
Here?
Klessen, Sudbury,
Here.
Portillo, Wagner,
Here.
Lloyd.
Here.
All righty, we do have a quorum. Next up, we have our consideration of meeting minutes from February the 9th.
I make a motion to be approved as submitted.
We
Second.
got a motion from Farner, a second from Lloyd. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, meeting minutes are approved. Next up, we have our public input session. This will be an opportunity for anybody in the public to address the commission concerning any published or non-published item. I don't think we have any public hearings tonight. Nope. So with that, is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the commission concerning any published or non-published item? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close our public input session. We have nothing for unfinished business. New business, starting off, we need to elect our officers for the planning commission.
I make a motion that we retain the 3 existing officers.
Got a motion from Lloyd,
Second.
second from Wagner. Call the roll, please.
Wagner,
Yes.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. All right, motion carries. Next up, we have lot split 2026-63153, a lot split request near the intersection of Compensate Drive and Kickwell Drive. Planner Grady.
Good evening, thank you. This
Good
property is located in the southwest area of Bella Vista, along Compensate Drive and Crookwell Drive. This property was previously part of a parent tract 2, which contained approximately 27.8 acres. The previous minor subdivision was approved by this body August of last year. The applicant is currently requesting to split the remaining tract 2, which contains 9.1 acres, into 2 individual parcels. The parcel is dissected by an existing section line as illustrated on the plot map. Tract 5 would enclose 3.5 acres, maintaining a 200 feet of road frontage. Tract 6 would enclose 5.6 acres with 382.82 feet of frontage. The proposed tracts are dedicated with the required minimum 20-foot front setback, 15 rear, and 7.5 side utility easements per this plat. The subject land is located within the city limits and is designed as, or designated as a neighborhood area per our future land use. Our master street plan classifies Copinsay Drive and Kirkwall Drive as residential streets and maintains 60 feet of right-of-way, exceeding the required minimum. No new streets are proposed. Nothing's being vacated. All tracks have access to public street. There's no increase in city public services. No substantial lots are created, nor does any track require a variance or waiver. Granting this lot split would not negatively impact the public health, safety, or welfare of the other properties. We've not received any public comments, no outstanding technical comments, and based on this analysis, staff recommends the approval of this lot split request.
Any questions for staff? Now, can we get the applicant to come up to the podium and state their name and who they represent for the record?
Jody Latham, Cooper Communities. We are just taking this 9-acre tract, splitting it into 2 more marketable and affordable tracts. I'll take any questions.
Any questions for the applicant? All right, if not, can I get a motion to approve lot split 2026-63153?
So moved.
Got a motion from Farner,
Second.
second from Lloyd. Call the roll, please.
Lloyd,
Yes.
Sedbury,
Yes.
Farner,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. All right, lot split is approved. Staff will get with you on next steps. Thank you. Next up, we have waiver 2026-63439, a waiver request associated with SPR 63265 on pedestrian accommodation requirements for a proposed parking lot. Planner Hyatt.
Thank you. This request pertains to the parcel to which we're currently sitting. Section 107-0102G provides standards and guidelines for pedestrian accommodations, and Section 109-139 sets forth review and approval requirements for developments other than single-family residences and duplexes. The applicant is requesting a waiver from the pedestrian accommodations in order to place a short-term parking/impound lot at the subject site. The Bella Vista Police Department, again, is proposing an approximately 18,215 square foot parking and impound lot to be located behind the existing street department development. You'll likely recall before bringing this proposal forward, CEI and the police department requested a variance from the surfacing requirements with a sunset clause of 5 years, as well as a variance from all perimeter and interior parking lot landscaping requirements. These requests were both approved at the January 12th BZA meeting. The lot provides for a ribbon to contain the proposed gravel and is fenced in and fully screened from view as it sits behind the street department building that currently exists. Additionally, a berm and forested area shields the lot from the residential subdivision located east of the site. Drainage will flow to an existing pond located directly south of the proposed lot. And again, due to the size of the expansion, pedestrian accommodations would be required along the frontage. However, a waiver has been requested. Planning Commission must find all review requirements to be met for approval. And the applicant's justification for the request includes the lot being a secured municipal facility with no public access, retail, or service component, therefore not generating pedestrian demand. The subject site is zone C2 local commercial per the future land use map. It sits within a type 2 village center node, and the master street plan shows the site to run alongside a major arterial with Forest Hills Boulevard. We have no outstanding technical comments, and staff recommends approval so long as Planning Commission approves the waiver request.
And staff did want to provide a note, new code. We do have new requirements. So you'll see that the page 2 for waivers is significantly longer than what it used to look like. There used to be only 4 requirements for a waiver. Now there's 8 to 10, looks like, without counting it specifically. But all of those have to be found in order to approve it. Also, the code requires 5 of you to vote yes to approve a waiver now. So that means everyone up there today, since we only have 5 in attendance, would have to vote yes to approve the waiver. So there was a rule change in the code, and there were new review requirements, so just wanted to make sure you all were aware of that as you do your review.
All right. Any questions for staff? All right. If not, if the applicant would go ahead and come up and state their name and address for the record, or who you represent would be sufficient, and then we'll let you go ahead and make your presentation concerning the waiver request and the specific site plan itself.
Good afternoon. My name's Lieutenant Scott Vanetta. I'm with the Bella Vista Police Department. I'm currently assigned the long-term storage facility expansion project. We're currently in front of you guys today asking for a variance waiver on the sidewalk requirement of this project. What we're asking for the planning commission is to look at the long-term storage facility and the public safety facility as two separate projects. The the long-term storage facility, currently, if we were to have to put a sidewalk out there, it's kind of in a hazard area where the street department maintains all their heavy equipment, where we maintain all of our equipment. It is a evidence storage facility. We currently fence this off. We don't want the public back there. The public cannot go back there because of some of the larger items that we house. We currently have a camper there that is being housed. It is a part of evidence. So the public can't go back there. For us to put a sidewalk back there would be very difficult. I think the sidewalk portion for this requirement would be more for the public safety facility along Highway 279. And if we had to do that right now, that would substantially push this project back. Along with the logistics, we'd have to go back to City Council and request the funding of this. That would be substantial. We'd have to redo the landscaping out front. The Walton Foundation just put the trees in. The bike trail would have to be removed and relocated. The bike crossing would have to be relocated. There would be a lot of logistics to this to put a sidewalk in for this project. And currently, I have a photograph. Is it okay if I come around and show you guys? Or I have one for each, if you guys would like a copy.
Sure.
This just shows our current state of what this facility is in. This is right now. We just flew off one of our drones over the top of it. So you can see we are needing to move this project along and expand this facility. We are currently what's not evidence and what's not important and what does not need immediate security is outside of the fence. What is evidence and larger equipment that needs to be secured behind fence, some requirement by law is. You can see how much we have. We need to expand this. And then the sidewalk, to put a sidewalk in, logistically, we don't see how we could do that out there. So we just ask you to take that into consideration.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? Go ahead.
Question, is the argument for omitting the sidewalk simply to reduce the proximity of police business with the wandering public? I mean, it seems like more it's kind of an access control challenge.
It's both. It's access control and the public can't even go back there. I mean, as you can see from this facility, when you guys walk out and leave today, you'll see the fence going all the way across. The public can't even access 3/4 of this facility. You can't. It is fenced off. And back there, we have so much heavy equipment. We have tractors, vehicles, connexes. I mean, it would tear up a sidewalk, and the sidewalk wouldn't be utilized back there. We keep gravel back there, SB2 gravel. They just had to redo some of it to give us some more expansion for some of our police vehicles back there until we get the storage facility, or until we get the lot expanded and the fence moved back, the trees removed. A sidewalk just wouldn't, it would disrupt some of the stuff, especially with the street department moving some of their heavy equipment. A sidewalk would just disrupt their area back there.
So if I'm just summarizing, you don't want to encourage public walkthroughs, elongate your project timelines and overall costs to the municipality.
Correct, yes, sir.
I've got to follow up with that question. What is the waiver being requested? Is it the sidewalk along Forest Hill Boulevard,
Yes.
or is it the sidewalk going back to the facility?
The sidewalk request, or the sidewalk requirement would run along Forest Hills.
So
It wouldn't
it's-
go back, just along Forest Hills. Any right-of-way.
So it's just the public sidewalk that parallels Forest Hills Boulevard.
Correct.
Okay.
So, and that's another reason I stated that we would like the commission to also look at this as two separate. I apologize, because I thought some of this was, they were requiring a sidewalk back there as well. Any public access to this is, we were wanting a waiver for whatever, to put a sidewalk. Logistically out front, the public safety facility, it was a separate project from this. This facility was built long before this building was even here. and we were just needing to expand that. If the sidewalk is requested for this, logistically, for us to do that, it would take a while for us to plan that, do that, fund that, and get that done before, we could even move where we currently are. We would have issues, and we need to expand now.
Right, thank you. We're gonna need some help from staff, because as you know, Mr. Attorney, we're not allowed to consider cost or schedule in granting a waiver. We are prohibited from doing that. And this is a city request of a city body with city staff.
I understand. The applicant has to meet the standard that anyone else has to meet.
I mean, I think the site plan approval and stuff is easy for us to deal
Yeah.
with, and we understand the necessity of that. Is this something where we can get them under construction and have them work on designing the sidewalk and getting that in place? I can tell you right now, the planning commission doesn't grant that waiver. We haven't to this point today. We would rewrite the code with this one tonight.
I understand. I would have to defer to I think our planning staff needs to address your technical question about that.
If you're wanting to put, our current code, we wouldn't be able to final anything until the sidewalk was in. If you were just to deny the waiver and approve the site plan review, so long as they met the remaining comments, would be to comply with current code and put in the sidewalk.
But I also understand the urgency here from the photo. Is there a way that they can be granted their grading permit while the consultant figures out what to do with the sidewalk or the side path or whatever it is?
It may be a discussion of, a condition of approval of the waiver. You can impose any conditions that are suitable to the request on the waiver.
We currently have a 5-year portion to do the paving back there that you guys just granted the first waiver. Could this be?
That was a variance.
The variance. So
Yeah.
could we do the same thing? We have 5 years.
That could be a condition they can
a
consider.
condition, and then it's still gonna be done, but gives us time to get that done.
We really need help from you all.
Well,
I'm-
it's very difficult when the city itself is seeking to waive its own requirements. It just creates a real problem.
Yeah, you're putting your volunteers, or not your volunteers, but your planning commission in a very unique position, which we have. This has been one that we have unilaterally denied or accepted a fee in lieu of, but it doesn't make sense for the city to pay a fee in lieu of to itself. And in the rare cases we've accepted the fee in lieu of was with some real, true property hardships, i.e. topography, stuff like that. I mean, we don't know what to do.
I don't know what to tell you to do, other than to tell you that it's governed as any other application. Don't let the position of the applicant change the decisions that would otherwise need to be made.
Yes,
You can
ma'am.
impose any conditions on the waiver, should you approve it.
I have two questions. One is the police tract and the street department tract one parcel or two parcels?
It's one lot,
This is all one lot?
one big
Correct.
lot.
So it would have to go across the entire front? Okay. The other thing, on page 10 of 25 of our packet, the top part under waiver review requirements, it says 4 affirmative votes must be necessary. Then at the bottom of that same page, it says 75%, which is 5 1/4. Which is correct?
It's 75%. It's 5.
So the fact that it says 4 is wrong?
That was a typo that needs corrected. The code says we need 5.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
That may have not been transferred over from the old report, from the
Okay.
old code.
Okay.
Okay, I do want to, and Taylor may have some of the knowledge of this, when the building we're in was approved, there was a sidewalk waiver granted for that, was there not? There's no sidewalk out
Not by
front.
this planning commission.
That's right.
Well, it got done some kind of way.
There was never an official approval, it just happened.
That's right.
Okay.
And that was actually brought up in one attempt to get a waiver from this requirement. Well, the city didn't do it themselves. And I said, I said, this board never approved that waiver. I don't know the
I mean,
answer to
you
that.
can put a condition on the waiver, so any appropriate condition, it could be anything that you think would solve your concern. Right, the timetable.
Why can't the city pay itself a fee? I mean, it gets us off the hook. I mean, think about it.
The waiver requirements would still need to be met for a fee in lieu of.
Yeah, there's no, we've approved it as accepting a fee in lieu of instead of granting the waiver.
Can we put a time limit on it?
But
Time
it's,
on the waiver?
how does the city, I don't know. It's, all I'm saying is Pandora's box. Anything you do tonight, you're gonna do forward forever and ever and ever. It's gonna apply to everybody. Quite frankly, Domino's could come back and say, what about me? People could come back and try to unring bells that we've done in the past. This sets a dangerous precedent for us.
And this is a waiver, right?
Yes.
Not a variance.
Yes.
Well,
Waivers do go to council, correct?
Waivers can be appealed to council.
They're appealed to council.
I have a
Can we-
question. What kicks this into the category of having to comply with current regulations? I thought it was a percentage of change or percentage of addition to the existing or something like that.
It is over the nonconformity increase.
say that again, Tara? It's over?
The expansion is over the 25% increase allowance.
25% of what?
The existing development that's there right now.
Size?
Yes. So the overall development is being increased over 25% for that existing parking lot.
Okay.
I mean, Scott, I would just say one thing. We had a lot of discussion about the access to the back, but we're talking about the highway. Is there any safety issue regarding that? I just want to make sure you have an opportunity to address any particular unique to that runs parallel to the highway out front.
There's no safety issues, it's just the time that it would take to redo all that. You know, we had the Walton Foundation come in and
But
do the
we
front
can't
of that.
consider
And, you know, we would have to do that before we can do what you're currently looking at.
We can grant you an approval based on that you will come up with supplemental plans to put the sidewalk in so we can get you under construction. Now, we can put a stipulation on it like that, but to unilaterally grant this waiver or even give it a 5-year thing, we've basically struck everything we've tried to do with sidewalks and pedestrian safety in the city of Bella Vista, which as a police officer, I know you understand, we would undo everything tonight if we grant this waiver. I mean, it literally will rewrite the code, rewrite the policy for the city of Bella Vista. It's a tough position for us to be in.
And
Very tough.
we understand your position and, you know, I get it. We just wanted to be heard out on the predicament that we're in, and we wanted to give you guys
Yeah.
a visual, you know.
Yep.
And I just want to confirm too, just for the record, waivers don't set precedents like the appeal of the interpretation that was discussed earlier today.
I understand, but
They-
it does.
There are practical concerns.
They're
Oh,
case
it
by case.
absolutely
Okay.
does.
You got, oops, sorry.
You can say whatever you want, Taylor, but it absolutely sets a tone.
So,
And it's hard for us to say that private citizens, you have to do it when the city doesn't do it.
Didn't we deny a waiver request?
Yes.
Just up the road?
Yes.
I think we need, if the city is applying for a variance or a waiver, there needs to be a real concrete justification that meets the requirements in the ordinance.
And I'm not hearing this being directly called out as a public safety challenge, that sidewalk out front. It's not a public safety challenge. It's unfortunately undue burden on the cost of the project as taxpayers. No one likes to hear that. You know, slows you down. You have objectives to meet, certainly sensitive to that. But I think that the Pandora box scenario that our chairman has brought up is probably what comes down to my decision.
Yeah.
This is that, I don't think that we can, I can't get on board with this. Sadly, because it's a waste of resources.
Council's adopted a code, and we're charged with enforcing that
Yeah,
code.
exactly.
I mean, that's the position the council has put us in.
Mr. Ellis?
Yes, sir.
John Stanley, CEI Engineering. If I may, to Ms. Lloyd's point, can we review the section of code that talks about the 25% requirement and how that's calculated? Can we talk through that? So,
That would be like between you and staff. I mean,
okay,
yeah.
before we vote on this, if we can table it potentially, I'd like to speak to staff on how that's calculated, if that's all right.
It's also, it's not just the percentage too, but we can definitely meet about it. It's generation of trips, increase of use. There's multiple things for different sections of code. But
I think we can take this tonight, and if we can approve it with conditions, and if you can work something out with staff where those conditions go away,
Okay.
then it becomes an in-house review only, and you don't even have to come see us.
Okay. We can do that.
But I mean, I don't think you want to be delayed another month.
No, we sure don't. We
It's
don't
building
have to.
season. I think we can give you an approval that even directs staff to go ahead and issue your grading permit while you still work on getting this resolved. Or we can do that as a board, because I mean, I completely understand, I mean, looking at the aerial image, yes, you need to get more storage space, sir. So we're sensitive to that, and we understand that also. But it's, yeah.
So your rationale is approved.
I think we approve what we've got before us. You know, we can couch that, we have to vote on the waiver first, but then we can couch the approval in such a way that directs staff to go ahead and issue a grading permit in some form or fashion so they can get started while they work to resolve the sidewalk issue out front.
You're talking about the site plan.
In the way that's keeping with the code, that's right, and have it in place.
So in effect, we're splitting them.
We're trying to make everybody as happy as we can,
Yeah,
but
that's what I mean.
nobody's gonna be 100% there.
Okay.
So, but working within the confines of what council has set for us.
All right, so how would you verbalize that motion?
Well, first off, we have to take motion on the waiver request specifically, because the applicant has asked us to do that, and they're not withdrawing that. So we have to take action on the waiver first, and then we can take action on the actual site development plan after that. So that, it's gonna be two separate motions, unless Mr. Attorney tells me differently. All right, so we have a request to waive the sidewalk along Forest Hills Boulevard. If I can get a motion to approve waiver 2026-63439.
So moved.
We got a motion from Sedberry,
Second.
second from Farner. Call the roll, please.
Sudbury,
No.
Farner,
No.
Wagner,
No.
Floyd,
No.
Ellis.
No. So the waiver is denied. Can we get a motion to approve site development plan 2026-63265 on the condition of staff going ahead and issuing a grading permit once all the other comments addressed and allowing time for the determination of the sidewalk placement and construction?
So moved.
Got a motion from Sedberry,
Second.
second from Wagner. Call the roll, please.
Farner,
Yes.
Wagner,
Yes.
Floyd,
Yes.
Sudbury,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes. All right, we've given staff some pretty clear directions on how to work with you all to try to get this thing moving forward and keep the police department moving in a positive direction. Appreciate you all being here. Thank you. With that, our new business is finished. Do we have anything from committee reports?
Not at this time.
All righty, anything for open discussion?
Quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
I know at the work session, I think I've mentioned it at the last regular meeting too, when I gave you guys the end of year update, but we're currently working on a audit of the new code. I would love to get that to you guys, in May, at your May regular meeting, pending everything goes smooth and we can work through what we need to, but, that's our goal, is to get that here. But this this request tonight has kind of opened our eyes a little bit with we weren't aware that our consultant had changed the numbering from 4 to 5 yes votes. So that one, when preparing for this report, kind of caught us off guard a little bit. So I kind of wanted to talk to you guys. Is that something, because the intent, I'm not sure of, I can't speak to that. Like I said, that was a consultant recommendation that was not discussed at length. So curious, would you be open to keeping it or changing it back to 4? How do you feel about the 5 versus the 4?
So you're talking about specifically for waivers, or are we talking
Waivers
about?
only, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only one they changed.
I thought waivers used to be just a simple majority of voting members present. Since it's just a waiver, it's not a variance or rezoning. We're not modifying the code.
Old code says specifically 4.
Does it have to?
We could rely on your bylaws, but it's nice to have, if the process in there, just,
Sure, but I mean,
Yeah.
it could simply say simple majority,
and then just defer to your bylaws
yes.
on what a simple majority is.
Instead of specifically saying 4 or 5. I don't,
That's on a waiver.
on a waiver only,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, because I don't want to get into a situation where we have 5 people here and hopefully we don't get a lot of, the overall philosophy, of course, is if we're getting a bunch of waivers, we need to fix the code, but.
I guess I could see, waivers traditionally in planning practice are supposed to be very hard to get. The development code is supposed to be true, and that's what you enforce, that's the local law. So like, I get it, and that's why we increased our waiver review requirements from 4 to 8. But it's the only review that you guys have that says 5, everything else is 4, and so it just doesn't make sense, logistically speaking. From staff's point of view, and we're preparing reports anyway, all of them are 4, this one's 5, so just, curious.
Whatever.
Making it match the rest would be staff's recommendation.
Well, we have staff recommendation to make, okay, you need us to like
No,
vote on
no,
that?
it's open discussion, and I will throw it on the spreadsheet if
go.
no one objects.
No one objects.
Okay.
I don't think. No, nobody's objecting, at least of those who are present.
Okay. That's all I've got, and just a reminder, we are working towards an audit for you guys for the May meeting, so.
What's the objective of the audit?
So now that we've been able to practice it a little bit, making sure that the intent is being met by the practice overall. If there's any items, that need clarifying, no large changes, that's not the goal. Like, this would be one that would be a change, so that's why I brought it up. The rest are just clerical, clarity cleanups, that we're bringing forward, to make sure things are matching, basically.
Make sure we are interpreting the same way the staff is interpreting.
Also found just some items that just need removed or changed.
Things that we paid the consultant to make sure was done right that we found were incorrect.
But,
Are we harvesting field feedback from our constituents, like building inspection, things like that?
so,
Or administrative?
as I say, the inspections isn't really housed within, like, building inspections.
Generate feedback. Your code is creating this. Is
Yes. There is, the intent is to put together also a review committee of local developers, especially single-family, to make sure that we really target them, because during the big code reform, all developers were targeted. This group would specifically just be builders, not just the broad general. But, yeah, we've sought comments. Things that we're getting on the phone, we're writing down, we're keeping a spreadsheet of things that people are complaining about or taking note of. If the complaint isn't meeting the intent of the change, things of that nature. But we're not the only city that is gone or is going through an audit. Rogers has gone through multiple audits since their big code reform. I expect Bentonville too will do that once they're able to get their first draft of their code adopted from their new plan that they've adopted. I'm not sure of Springdale, but we've met with Rogers since they're the most recent. That's kind of, we're following a very similar timeline. From the time they took it to council, the next summer they brought an audit after staff was able to practice it a little bit. So it's good practice.
Yeah, Rogers has a practice, they do an audit every year. So they do a revisit of their code every year in September, if I remember correctly. And so they come back to their planning commission every year and say, here's the things we've run across, and here's the clarification, here are the things we need you to clarify. And I think it's a good practice too, because
It should be treated like a living, breathing document, so that's kind of the goal.
And there, periodically, every few years, we may come back and say, hey, look, we need to revise a section of code for one reason or another, because things do change. So,
And what's your date, just so I get that finalized?
The May regular meeting is what we're aiming for.
So there's no recommendations, findings,
Well, that would be the public hearing, so 10 days before that, you would get a report, and then I'll probably also bring it in April as an open discussion item as well, to kind of give you a high-level view next month, and then the May cycle, or cycle 5, you would have the actual proposal, pending everything goes okay, and we don't get entirely swamped. Things are staying, numbers are staying up, so we're staying pretty busy, but that's the goal.
anything else for open discussion? All right. Announcement, City Council work session will be Monday, March 16th at 5:30 PM with the regular meeting on Monday, March 23rd at 6 PM. Planning Commission will have a work session on April the 2nd at 4:30 PM. And our Board of Zoning Adjustments will be held on Monday, April 13th at 4:30 PM, directly followed by our Planning Commission meeting. And with that, we stand adjourned. Thank you all very much. Appreciate it, staff.